It's going to be a fight. You always got to get that fight. It's going to be a fight, I think. IU has confidence. They beat us once, so they kind of probably feel like they know what to do against us. So you got to know they're going to come out swinging. Feeling that loss, I think that loss is nothing like it. You got to sit with it. Guys been stewing. They want to get back into that game. The Mackey crowd is going to be phenomenal.
It all speaks for itself. Grinding in silence, ain't nothing to tell. When we step on the court, we gon' bring it to light. And we stop and pop like we caught of the light. Stop asking what's wrong with me. You already know there's a dog in me. If there's no stopping my focus, man, make sure all my people gon' ball with me. Yeah, I came to compete, I'm a dog with it. Yeah, I came to compete with my paws in it.
What's up, Compete Training Academy family? Welcome back to the Compete Mentality Podcast. The Compete Mentality Podcast exists to motivate, educate, and inspire you guys to compete. Our definition of competing is doing what God is calling you to do even when it's hard. I'm here with my guy, Lewis Jackson. Lou, thanks for hopping on again.
I'm glad to be back.
Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure, my brother. And I got a couple housekeeping items just to kick it off. Before we dive in, we got some fun topics to discuss. We're going to discuss the GOAT. We're going to go there. We're going to discuss the GOAT, greatest player of all time in the NBA. And then we're going to obviously preview the game. Again, we previewed round one, round two, this Saturday at Mackey Arena, 7:30 p.m. tip-off, Purdue versus the team from the South. So, housekeeping items. For those of you watching on YouTube, we have some Mason Gillis jerseys here. We are doing a fundraiser for the Compete Training Foundation that the part of the proceeds from these jerseys go to benefit families in need and families that are going through adverse situations. So if you want a Mason Gillis signed jersey, go to CompeteTrainingFoundation.org or our website, the CompeteTrainingAcademy.org, and we will get you there. Also, we have Lewis Jackson March Madness School coming here in March. We can't wait to kick this off. It's going to be great training. It's every Saturday here in March for boys and girls from 3rd grade through 12th grade. Led by yours truly, Lewis Jackson, all-time winningest point guard in Purdue history. Lou, tell us a little bit about the preparation you're doing for March Madness School and what our Hoopers can expect.
I'm getting excited about it. Just looking at different films. So certain sessions we'll do film breakdowns. So just looking at what I want to show the kids just from an offensive skill set, from a defensive skill set, and then just starting to just feel that energy. I think March is the best time of the year. So getting ready to come in here, meet new kids, see the vibe, introduce them to me, who I am as a person, and I think it's going to be cool. Obviously, we like to play music, and just for the people to know, high school kids will be separate, junior high will be separate, then that 3rd and 5th grade group. So everybody will have their own time. So it'll be a little bit more intimate in a sense, but it'll be cool just working with all the different age groups and just being able to teach them new things.
That's great. I know all of you players are really excited for this opportunity to train with Lewis. Lewis is a family favorite for sure. As we dive in to previewing the Purdue versus the team from the South game, I want to actually start with the GOAT conversation. Lou and I were talking about what we should talk about today, and we're like, are we going to go there today? And we're like, you know what? Let's go there. So, Lou, there's a lot of ways to go about this conversation, but I just want to cut straight to the punch. Who's the greatest player of all time for you?
That's tough. I mean, it's definitely errors. You definitely weigh players by errors, but for me, I'll probably kill. Man, it's tough. Mike's Mike. Like, Mike is Mike. I won't disrespect Mike, but for me, everything in totality, I would say LeBron James is the GOAT. And I know some people are going to go first thing we're going to all say 6-0. He didn't lose in the finals. We know he's a killer.
Yep.
We know everything he's done. But we only talk about that window of 6-0. Respectfully, Mike was a pup. Mike did take his bumps and bruises. Great. Get the Jordan rules.
Right.
Obviously, what he does in the 90s is special.
Yep.
We throw out the Wizards' career.
Yep.
So I just feel like we focus on the 6 rings special. Obviously, Michael Jordan was and I don't know if this is wrong to say, but it's kind of true a little bit too. I think of that 2000 there wasn't a lot of guys, Tracy McGrady, Kobe Bryant, Vince Carter. You started talking about those 6'6", 6'7" wings that started to come in the early 2000s. Everybody could jump from the free throw line. Everybody now was shooting the fade away. It was a more enhanced game, but you can't take away from Michael because he's the first guard you hear about weight room, athleticism, fade away. So everything he's done is just phenomenal. I just think sometimes as a competitor, I don't think people struggle. But the way the athletes have also advanced, it would be nice to see him in that era. And with me, LeBron, everybody skips over. He came out in 2004. Mm-hmm. So some of the old guys that's always like, he didn't play in a tough league. He didn't play inside.
Right.
He played against you guys when it first started. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
And I'm attached to LeBron because I did get to watch him since high school. From high school, the expectations.
Right. Absolutely.
All of that for me just in Michael, again, defense player, everything. He has all the accomplishments. But I just think if I had to tell a kid, hey, watch a guy play, all around game, rebounding, assists, talking. I mean, we call him a GM. I'll let you go so that we can debate a little bit.
Yeah, and no, I think you bring up a great point about eras because it definitely seems like the people who grew up in the era watching that specific player, Kareem back in the 70s and 80s, people from that era who watched him, who witnessed his greatness, they're all about him.
Right.
The 80s, 90s, those who followed Mike and got to witness his greatness, they're all about Mike. Now, from 04 to now, a 20-year span of LeBron and his greatness, people are coming around more to LeBron. I will say up front, too, I don't even know why, but LeBron's got a lot of hate over the 20 years of his career. I got nothing but respect and love for what he's done in his career. Him being a family man, him being a great representation of the league. That's a whole nother thing aside. But if I'm going to go out and say the greatest player of all time, I'm going to say LeBron James as well. Oh, wow. So you may not have expected that.
No, not at all.
So my 1A is Mike.
No doubt.
My 1A is Mike. But I'm giving I hate to just agree with you like this, but I'm giving it to LeBron for just for obvious reasons. All-time leading scorer in the NBA. The way he's performed at a high level for years. You have to take into consideration an entire career.
Yeah.
Come on. Like, if you're gonna say who's the greatest player of all time, well, there's certain players that were really great for 5 years.
No doubt.
That you may say are great players, but like when you say the GOAT, I feel like you really got to measure a career.
I agree. You shocked me. Now I should be arguing for Mike. You shocked me with that one. But I mean, I think that is the difference. Now, we're talking about dominance in the prime room. Those are different conversations.
That's what I'm saying.
Like,
right.
That Michael Jordan at 6-0. We don't know what happens if he doesn't take the 2 years off. That's different.
Who am I picking? Like in a fantasy draft?
Yeah.
Now that's another. Like I'm taking Mike.
Right. But then, and I get it.
I'm picking Mike.
I get it. But see, my thing is, and I guess this is for the old head. I wonder, what does Mike match up with Kobe Bryant? We see the young Kobe. So, we see the young Kobe. And I mean, Mike is still Mike, so it's always going to be like, but what does a middle-aged Kobe look like against a middle-aged Michael Jordan?
Yes.
And it's not a knock to Mike, but I know he's that great. But who is his rival? Like, people can say everything, but like, who is his rival in that era that you at least throw out his name or you're like, hey, he's better than LeBron, he's better than Kobe. Who's the second guy in that era in the 90s where you're like, he's just
Magic and Bird?
And that's, and to their credit, that's early 80s.
Right.
Because for Magic, we don't get to see Magic's full career.
Right.
Which sucks. Obviously, Bird's back. But to me, those guys are pre-Michael Jordan.
Right.
And
I agree.
But it's like, who is his guy in the 90s where it's just like, we say the Knicks.
Right? Yeah.
I respect Reggie Miller. The
Yeah.
Pacers were good.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
we
no.
always say, the team. We don't ever really like. You argue with LeBron, you got guys who's gonna say Kobe
It
was
wasn't
better.
close.
Kevin Durant's in this area.
Right.
It's so many just. Oh man, I kind of want to argue for Mike now, but yeah.
It wasn't close of anyone be close to Mike's nemesis. You're right. That's great. Bird had Magic. Kobe had LeBron.
Who's been LeBron's best coach?
LeBron's best coach? Man. I would Spoelstra, man.
And I love Eric Spoelstra.
Yeah.
But when LeBron went to Eric Spoelstra, we wasn't calling him a great coach. To me, and I could be wrong, feel like after what Spoelstra did in the bubble, a lot more people paid attention to the culture of Miami and seemed like, man, he's still really a good coach. But
Sure.
every team LeBron's won a championship with, that was the coach's first time winning, which obviously Phil Jackson,
Yeah.
first time was with Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
But then they go through 6,
Yeah.
and then field goals get Kobe and Shaq. So he has a little bit more after, but
So I feel like you got an answer on compared to this. Who you got for LeBron's best coach?
LeBron, no, I think Ty Lue. I think Ty Lue, and I think it's more just of a player personnel, being a point guard, being able to get to those guys, and obviously the 3-1 comeback puts the extra icing on the cake. So yeah, I would go Ty Lue.
That's Ty Lue. Yes. Okay, so I want to hear your comments. Comment below in the box below. Lou and I didn't really have too big of a debate there when it comes to the GOAT conversation of LeBron being the greatest of all time. Really, as we talked this out, came to that conclusion through you got to really measure a career.
I got a question for you, though.
Yep.
I think this could become the 2000 to 2010 year. Who's the best player?
Man. In that span, Kobe had 5 rings,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Yeah, early with Shaq. Yeah, there you go.
I don't got my laptop on me right now.
2010, I think that's the last year. Yeah.
I think
that's
he
a
had,
big, yeah.
man, I'm saying Kobe.
Kevin Garnett.
Kevin Garnett, no way.
No, I'm just but you know what I mean? Like
Right.
that. I think that is when I say it. Like
Right.
I think that's the one you put in context. Because for me,
Yeah.
I respect Kobe Bryant a lot. But
Yes.
that era, and I guess maybe being in the Midwest, got Allen Iverson on
Yep.
TV, Tracy
Yep.
Perry was on
Absolutely.
TV. So for me, I didn't really watch Kobe as much.
No.
I have friends that
Right.
love Kobe. But I think in that era, you got so many guys where you could be like, he was the best player for 2 years out of the league. Kobe was always Kobe, but like
Yeah.
the Allen Iverson run, Vince Carter,
Yep.
even Kevin Garnett being the MVP, Tim Duncan.
That's an amazing decade of players right there.
So I just
Absolutely.
wondered, yeah.
But 5 rings in 10 years, man, that's a streak of dominance. Just like Tom Brady with the Pats. I mean, that's an amazing streak. So, great question there. So, Lou, I want to dive into the game here this weekend. Last night, let's start with IU. I want to talk about their team a little bit. So last night they lost against Michigan State at Michigan State. Very emotional crowd for obvious reasons, and now they're coming into West Lafayette. Just tell me what your analysis is of their team right now coming into West Lafayette.
Honestly, they're playing well. They're playing well, and I think it was that mid-season they hit a rut, and I just can't remember they hit a rut, and I remember hearing people talk about it. And then just to get back on track, obviously getting a win against us, playing good basketball, beat Illinois. They've been playing well. Like they've definitely been playing well, and whatever little rut they went through as a team, they figured it out. And I think everybody in college basketball, this is the perfect time. This is when you want your team to be clicking and gelling at all points. So you have to give credit to them for figuring out whatever they were going through mid-season.
Absolutely. Trace Jackson Davis is playing at an amazing level. Miller Kopp is shooting 46% from 3. I think he's got 52 3-pointers on the year. To me, man, he that's an X factor, finding him, being able to locate him on the court, making sure he's not getting his open looks because, you got a guy like him going for 4 or 5 threes in a game. That's a big swing. Those threes add up. the Boilermakers, we had our toughest stretch, for sure, of the schedule. Being away at IU, away at Northwestern, coming back to Mackey this Sunday, getting back to form, convincing win against Ohio State. Ohio State's reeling a little bit this year, which is crazy. They got talent out of the wazoo. Sense of ball is amazing. Love his game. But we put it to him by 30, I think, close to it, 20 or 30, if I remember. What is your analysis of the Boilers going into this game as well?
I got a phrase I always say. I like where we're at. Like, I think we've been through enough adversity in all aspects. Obviously, you don't ever want to see the team lose, but you kind of know what the Big Ten is about. You know, maybe hey, we may drop one or two right here. Freshman guys, they haven't struggled, but hit a little freshman wall, learning the game. I always say the best thing about the Big Ten is once you're playing it enough, the scouts, the coaching is phenomenal. So now we know who you are. We're going to attack you. We're going to try to expose things. So for us to always get everybody's best shot, and now seeing what different teams are going to throw at us, how they're going to guard us, give us opportunities, I think it's the best thing for us going into the tournament. We drop a couple here, we still right in the position to win the Big Ten outright, if not share it. But I think we'll win it outright. With that adversity, I like our hand. I definitely like everything we've been to, because now that locker room is not just all highs, but even now we know how to handle adversity. Crowd gets loaded. We've been on the road, crowds are going crazy. Now Brady Smith has experienced it for himself a little bit more, knowing how to control the locker room. Zach E showing different times being a great leader.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? I think that team has been able to gel around some of that adversity, where wins at times, you take things away from it. But with a win, you know, we all kind of just like, I did my thing, I knew what I was doing. But that loss every time makes each individual focus on, hey, I got to do this better, and I need to step up, in which I think that's what the team is doing right now.
No doubt about it. I love the way our team has fought through this stretch of adversity, losing at IU, losing at Northwestern. Both games, I was in attendance, extremely hostile crowds. Just on the road in the Big Ten recently, I would love to go through and see the record of home teams versus away teams all over the board. Big Ten has just been brutal as far as the physicality as well. I mean, it's just the way the refs have been calling the games across the board in every game. Man, it's been a war every single game. So getting through those adverse situations, I think, is preparing us for a deep run for sure. Prediction, man. Saturday night, 7:30 at Mackey. What's your prediction?
Obviously, we're gonna win this one. I mean, it's gonna be a fight. You always gotta get that fight. It's gonna be a fight. I think IU has confidence. They beat us once, so they kind of probably feel like they know what to do against us. So you gotta know they're gonna come out swinging. I just feel like it's a 7+. Like we're gonna win by 7 or more. I just feel like that Mackey crowd feeling that loss. I think that loss is nothing like it. You gotta sit with it. Guys been stewing. They want to get back into that game. The Mackey crowd is gonna be phenomenal. I mean, if anybody's going to that game, there's nothing like it. So I think that crowd, just that advantage at home, it gives you just another extra boost. Got us winning by 7+.
Yes, I'm with you there. What's the score? The exact score. Throwing it out there.
Okay. Zach Hughes going to have a good night. I think he's going to play well. I expect all the guys actually to play well. I'll go 87-69.
I like the 87. I like seeing us pop off for 87. 87-69. Key players for both teams. Who's the key player for IU for them to succeed? Who's the key player for the Boilers to succeed?
I'll feel bad. I'm a point guard, even though he plays down south. The point guard, the freshman.
Schifino?
Yeah.
Yes.
I think he's the key piece. Obviously, with us, when he made shots in that mid-range, the ball screen, it forced Zach to come out.
Yep.
And that gave him chances. He made shots and he was able to get around the bucket, get some alley-oops in there, and made it easier for him. So I think he's going to be the key piece for them.
We got to slow him down for sure.
For us, I think Fletcher Lloyd, a combination of him, Ethan Morton, I would even put Brandon and David Jinks. So pretty much the wings.
Yep.
But I think Fletcher Lawyer and Ethan Morton are most important. We got to get Fletcher going.
Yep.
I think that just spreads the court a little bit more. Now we're spread it out. The pick and roll can work. Mason Gillis is going to be Mason Gillis. I expect him to show up.
Yep.
Zach is Zach. I think Brady's going to handle it well. But I would say probably between the wings, but mostly Fletcher Lawyer, we got to get him going.
Yes. So winning this game puts us at 13-4, I believe, with Wisconsin, at Wisconsin on a Thursday night, and then Saturday at home against Illinois.
Yeah.
Saturday or Sunday.
Yeah.
As we move on from this game, going and playing at the Kohl Center is never easy. They've had a very up and down year, but they got players. Connor Season is a great player. He's from about an hour north of CTA, and then it's cold. It's in the arena. It's just cold. So describe to our audience about the trip to Madison and what that looks like for a Boilermaker.
It's a tough one. There's something about Madison, like I said, the Kohl Center. It's legit cold. I think they keep the ice hockey rink underneath, and then you're sitting right off the lake. So normally for us, we always played there in January, December, so it was always cold. But they got a great atmosphere. They play good basketball. It's like an NBA arena in there. The crowd is spectacular, and it's never easy just to win there. Like you said, obviously the Big Ten is always the motto of protecting home. And that's a good place to go. You learn something about yourself, but it'll be a grind-out game up there.
It's going to be interesting. You can't take a night off in the Big Ten. If you do, you're going to get beat. I'm with you, though. I think my personal prediction this Saturday, I'm going to go 81-71. 81-71 Boilers. We win this game, and I honestly think we're going to win out.
Yeah.
Wisconsin, Illinois, they've had an up and down year as well. So I think we're in the driver's seat to control our own destiny.
I agree. And that's the beautiful thing about what they got right now. They're going to get everybody best shot. Because even if I could just say either we helped them share or we knocked them off, these are these guys' seasons right now, and obviously they're probably fighting for tournament life. So it's good for us because now every game always matters, but rolling into these last 3 games, getting into the Big Ten tournament, every game counts heavy. So it's already preparing us for the Big Ten tournament and the NCAA tournament.
Absolutely. There you have it, CTA family. Thank you for joining us today on the Compete Mentality Podcast as we preview the IU Purdue game. And as always remember to compete. Do what God is calling you to do, even when it's hard.